Hello everyone and welcome to the Crypto Nutrition YouTube channel, bringing you digestible crypto nutrition. Today guys, we're going to be talking about the beast that is Vechain. I've had a couple of requests on this one and it's time now to really delve deeper into this project, find out more about what it is that they're offering and hopefully provide you with a well-rounded view of the project, because there's been so much hype, so many people are talking about it, but there's not much information about what they're actually doing and what their product is. So hopefully I'll be able to put that into a video for you and give you a kind of unique and useful video on Vechain. Once again, thanks to everyone that has subscribed and supported the channel. You're all the best. And if you're new here and you want to learn about coins in detail, please do subscribe to the channel, support the channel in any way that you can. I do take requests, so if there are any coins that have been stumping you recently, please do shout and I'll get them on the list. You can also follow me on Twitter, guys. It's at Crypto Nutrition, and we have a Discord server. All the links are on the channel. But without further ado, guys, it's over to you, desktop. So guys, today we have a green tea, Crypto Nutrition smoothie, and I don't go anywhere without my giant bottle of water. So, Vechain Thor. These guys have been in the game for a long time. Founded in 2015 as VEN, people are really starting to take notice of Vechain, and there's some really good reasons why. So just to give a little bit of background, VEN used to run on the Ethereum network until in 2017, they raised $20 million worth of ETH tokens in their ICO to fund their mainnet launch in 2018. Since the start, Vechain's vision has been clear. They've set out to revolutionize the supply chain. Now, what's so amazing about a product like this from an investment point of view is that it has relevance to multiple industries, multiple businesses internationally. As demand for products rises and as individuals become wealthier and countries become wealthier, that demand is only heading in one direction. The other thing that increases in tandem with wealth is people's general focus and care, I guess, on what it is that they're purchasing and who they're purchasing from. And using the blockchain, multiple pieces of information and data around products and companies can now be logged and shared with everyone. And that's what Vechain are trying to do here. So you can see here with their kind of strapline, the public blockchain that derives its value from activities created by its members within the ecosystem, solving real world economic problems. So the latter part of that is what we're talking about, solving real world economic problems. And the first part, we'll go into it in more detail, but they're an ecosystem built on decentralized governance, governed by the people. The people make the choices, which is awesome to see. So before we go and look at the actual working parts of Vechain, let's make sure we completely understand what it is they're trying to do and how they're trying to do it. So they say here that Vechain's vision of lowering the barrier and enabling established business with blockchain technology to create value and solve real-world economic problems has been clear to us from the very beginning. So if we break that apart a little bit, it's enabling established businesses to create value and solve real-world economic problems. So the mission here isn't to give birth to a new breed of businesses, it's actually to improve upon the foundation of businesses across the globe using blockchain technology to solve real problems. And what are those problems? Essentially, as we become more of a globalized world, goods, products, materials, and supplies are being shipped around the world every second. This obviously requires a great deal of trust and cooperation between multiple parties. So you don't just have the business and the end user, there are multiple parties in between to follow down that chain in order to get from that initial idea even to the end consumer. So you might have a production factory, a storage facility, and then a store. So that's three intermediaries between the actual company and the consumer. So how do you know in the current world whether things are being produced to the right standard, in the right conditions, with the right materials, and at the right time? Well, the truth is that you really don't. You have to build up trust with your suppliers. But on the blockchain, records can be stored. RFID tags can be added to different elements of products. So everything can be tracked. Exact location, conditions of the storage, amount of times that it's been moved around, and many, many more. So essentially through blockchain technology, Vechain are able to enhance supply chain management and business processes and business management by really streamlining the flow of information. And this is what DLTs are all about, distributed ledger technology, which is essentially the blockchain. So what does this do? This gives users, so you and I, control over the authenticity of the products that we consume. You know, at the moment, producers and consumers suffer billions of dollars in losses because of tampering of products, because some businesses and some people don't operate the way that they should. That's just a fact. But if everything's transparent and everyone can see what's going on, that's going to revolutionize the way that businesses behave, criminals behave, and the way that consumers behave. Businesses will start behaving better, consumers will start making the right choices, and criminals and counterfeiters will be squeezed out of the marketplace. So, and what you're left with is a strong, everyone wins, cooperative economy, I guess. Yeah. So how do Vechain plan on doing this? So they've laid out 3 phases, which I think it's quite important to touch upon. All 3 of these phases are labeled as consensus. That's what the blockchain is all about. That's one of the things that's so revolutionary about this whole industry, is that most decisions are made through the consensus of the experts and stakeholders within whatever segment of that business we might be talking about. So things only get passed and things only come to fruition if everyone or most people agree. That's a consensus. That's decentralization. So applications in this early stage of blockchain adoption are coming from the more obvious use cases that leverage features and functionality of the blockchain technology, such as ICOs, DAOs, and betting applications, etc., etc. So they're saying that everyone's kind of doing a similar thing here. There are just different iterations of explorers, wallets, exchanges, ICOs, DAOs, but blockchain platforms that focus on use cases such as traceability, anti-counterfeiting, food safety, intellectual property management, etc., etc., and all kinds of data provenance categories are rarely to be seen. And these are the ones Vechain believe have the most utility in the real world. And it's hard to disagree. So Vechain has successfully moved past this first stage. So they've got their technical consensus. They know what they're doing. They ICO'd. They now have their own fully fledged ecosystem, and they are an ecosystem in their own right. So the next phase is business consensus. So they say here that in order for blockchain to evolve and be integrated into society, that businesses will be a main driving factor of this. Business owners and enterprises become the major force to drive blockchain technology development and adoption based on business needs and demands. So that's a cooperative relationship. You know, businesses can use the blockchain and the blockchain can use businesses. Sounds fair to me. Blockchain infrastructure applications are introduced to fulfill natural business and enterprise demands, such as custodian services, payment services, blockchain as a service, and privacy protections, along with technology involvement. So the technology that exists already within the blockchain fills natural business and enterprise demand. It's like made to measure, it's made to fit, it just needs to be adopted. Basically, businesses should be able to move their own ecosystem to be running on a reliable blockchain platform and look for expansions and interconnections to others. So as a business, you're probably thinking that's quite a big leap. You know, I've got to change my whole ecosystem and jump onto blockchain. So that's why there has been a degree of resistance on a large scale. But that's all we need to happen, really. And it is happening, and Vechain have examples of that happening. And they're the business driving that whole space forward. At the late stage of business consensus, the increased attention and adoption of blockchain technology is in major enterprises and businesses would compel authorities and regulatory bodies to seriously look at the blockchain space. So this is leading on to the next phase, which is governance consensus. So basically what they're saying is if businesses start adopting blockchain and start using the technology, that governments and regulatory bodies are going to have to start taking notice. So they say here that we can expect governments and countries, especially small and progressive countries, initially my head says Scandinavia, that are aiming for progressive policy, economic and technology advancements to gain strategic advantages. And it's so true. You know, governments are usually so slow to react to anything, really. Well, in this country they are. And for good reasons, to be honest with you. You know, governments are obviously the backbone of society, or they should be. And it's understandable why they would have some reservations about adopting this technology. And not only reservations, but why it would take some time for that to be integrated. So that's why governance consensus is the third phase. The race for blockchain adoption in this stage is about merging regulatory requirements with advanced features of blockchain technology. We believe that the key to achieving the requirements of this race is working towards a comprehensive governance consensus for the blockchain protocol. And this is the really important bit for me, guys, with balanced levels of centralization and decentralization. So they're not just saying everything has to be decentralized tomorrow. You know, Vechain kind of come with an understanding that there are going to have to be centralized organizations, protocols, and areas of economies that will have to be centralized, or that will be centralized for a long time until decentralization can take over. It goes to show, guys, that we're so early here. There is so much more to come from this space, that everything stacks up, and it's hard to look past this being the future. And they end by talking about Vechain's position in the blockchain ecosystem is now an enabler, which will enable everyone in the world to create valuable transactions as big or small parts of future collaborative ecosystems. By working together with our aligned partners and providing all of the necessary tools and services, Vechain's mission is to enable the blockchain community, business owners, enterprises, governments, and any other individual to move their business activities to blockchain effortlessly. Similar to opening an online store on Amazon or Alibaba with just a few clicks without technical knowledge required. So again, these guys are going big. The sky is the limit for these guys. And I honestly recommend you go through this white paper, guys. It's one of the best white papers I've read in terms of its relevance to the wider industry and the integration of blockchain in businesses and in governments. So that's why I've gone through this quite a bit. I don't really like just reading off the page, but I just felt there was so much relevance there, and there's so much more that you can dig into yourself, guys. So if you find a moment, please do take a look at this white paper. So now we understand a little bit more about what it is these guys are trying to do, how they're looking to do it. Now let's look at the products and services that they offer in order to actually execute on that. So as we scroll down the page, we're immediately hit with the resources that they have here. So Bootcamp is essentially learning sessions, so you can come here and find out exactly what it is that they're up to and listen to some of their team talking about blockchain and Vechain. And there's some really good stuff in there if you wanted to delve deeper. The application hub. This is where you can use all of the applications built on the Vechain ecosystem. So they have projects in finance, peer-to-peer lending, manager, where you can manage all of your Vechain assets. They have a safe wallet, buying developers coffee in a fun way. It's cool. They've got cool stuff here. Utilities, Vechain stats. So it provides their community with a wide variety of data insights. One-stop decentralized staking service. Some of these there are crossovers with, some in entertainment are also in social media. But guys, these are products within the product. These are add-ons, but these are all things that are of great utility to anyone within the ecosystem. Really cool to see. So the developer info center, this is just essentially all the documents for developers, so all the coding stuff. You'll see that on most crypto websites. Bounty programs, this is awesome, guys. So they basically put out bounties, let's say, for anyone to come along and solve issues for them. So security bug bounty, explore vulnerabilities in Vechain Thor blockchain and get reward. You can earn 10 grand. Anyone can come along and strengthen the network. Amazing. V research, again, similar to the bootcamp. This is if you wanted to delve deeper into loads of things surrounding Vechain and the blockchain. So again, some good reads in there for you. And the final one is vVote. So vVote is essentially their application whereby community members can view the proposals put forward and vote on what they think should be part of the future of Vechain. This is what community governance is all about. They also show here their wallet, their sync application browser. So that's essentially all the applications, but in another app. So it's like the app of apps, and the Vechain Explorer. So you can look across the Vechain network and the Vechain Explorer. So going back again to the community governance, they have something called POA, or Proof of Authority, where authority masternode operators with aligned interest in the development of Vechain ecosystem maintain the VThor protocol according to the Foundation's governance policy. Now, their governance policy is all available in their white paper. I have been through it and tried to get my head around it, but essentially, in a digestible way, they've got a really clear hierarchy and structure and authority at each level. And your level of authority is in tandem with your VET holding and essentially your contribution and stake in the network. So that's how you want it to be, really. It's like these people aren't going to let anything slip by or anything negative to happen to the best of their ability, because they're so involved and they're so staked in the product. And that's what proof of authority essentially is. The proof of authority consensus is a consensus algorithm that demands nodes to be authorized in order to participate in the blockchain consensus. And after that, then they can start contributing, producing new blocks and gaining rewards. And as a result of that, there is no need for nodes to spend vast amounts of resources to compete with one another. In addition, richer nodes do not have more advantageous, I'm assuming, positions than other nodes in the system. Really good to see. So these are the types of people that are master nodes, academic research partners, enterprise users, blockchain developers, business and technical partners, and community contributors. So everyone looking after the network are stakeholders of different kinds, and everyone has to be in agreement for decisions to go through. It's how things should be run. It's like we finally got there after thousands of years. It's like, yes, this eliminates any external or emotional bias of human beings. You love to see it. So again, the governance is community elected, decision-making and execution supported by the on-chain governance mechanism. Propose, approve, execute. Simple. So there are two coins attached to the Vechain network. The first is VET. So the simple way of breaking that down is VET is the store of value, as they've got here, smart money, and VTHO is used as energy or gas to power the transactions on the VET network, executing smart contracts or transferring VET across the network. There are 86 billion coins, 64 billion coins of which are in circulation, which is about 74%. So stakeholders, people that have a stake in the business, benefit from collective value creation through the development of the ecosystem. So the Vechain Foundation, this is the enabler of the ecosystem. So this is where projects go through, this is where people vote on what goes through. And yeah, this is essentially, as the name is, the foundation, the building block for the platform. So the next stakeholder is enterprise users and partners. So these are the people actually using the applications and technologies. Community investors. So investors will also benefit from the ecosystem as it gains value. Developers. So new developers can contribute to Vechain's technologies in specialized areas and be supported with business leads, capital investment, incubation and technology from the ecosystem. So it's like win-win for developers and startups. Institutional partners and research partners. So there are so many different types of stakeholders that can feed into this ecosystem and make gains from it as well. Everyone wins. That's the beauty of an ecosystem, not to mention a decentralized ecosystem, community governed. So they actually list their steering committee, so this is super transparent, and their advisory board. So let's dig in a little bit further here into enterprise. So the world's leading blockchain with proven enterprise application has abundant real use cases in various industries. And they really, really do. This basically means as a business now, you can start incorporating Vechain and benefiting from their technology. They talk about some of the solutions that they have worked on and are working on: digital carbon ecosystem, consumer confidence index, automotive passport solution, retail solution, logistics solution, digital content. Like, this is all real stuff. These are some of the strongest and most relevant economies and industries in the world, and they're not tied to one. They have real solutions for real industries today. So Toolchain is the actual product, the actual application that businesses can use. So it's the comprehensive blockchain platform offering diverse services, product lifestyle management, supply chain process control, data deposit, data certification. This is everything all in one. So again, working now. They also have a section for startups. So it's like, imagine at the start of the internet going to all these new startups and saying, we will help you build your foundation. We will help you scale your business. You know, you're going to be tied in with this amazing future-driven company working with leading enterprises to facilitate improvements across multiple global supply chains. I mean, yeah, I guess I'll work with you guys. And then the community. So this is part of the builders section. Again, enterprise, startup, and community. Anyone can plug in, an entrepreneur, a developer, and just any old contributor that wants to support the ecosystem and create value for themselves and for members. This is their foundation grant. Again, really cool. They give between 3 to 30K to proposals that are agreed, mutually agreed, which have to meet these criteria, apart from in exceptional cases, which they do state. So projects that benefit the ecosystem, projects that solve real world problems, projects that focus on user experiences and target broader mass beyond the crypto community. That's huge, guys. You know, this is a company that's looking to bridge the gap between the world that we currently live in, the centralized world, and the blockchain world. And they're not beating around the bush here. They don't, you know, in their white paper, they talk about it's going to have to be a balance of centralization and decentralization. They're so realistic in what they're trying to do and what they're trying to achieve. It's like they're tentatively shooting for the stars, which is really, really intelligent of them. So let's look at some of their partners here, guys. We won't dive into this too much. You can find some of these guys, but just know that they are working with so many huge worldwide companies: BMW, Renault, Walmart, H&M. Crazy, guys, crazy. So let's look at some of the news that Vechain have been involved with. Vechain to launch world's first blockchain intelligent humor treatment center. So this is another real world use case and a health benefiting use case. It enables full patient ownership of personal medical records, allowing patients to take control of authorization and medical records data management. So cool. Walmart China subsidiary teams up with Vechain to trace food products. Another use case. Vechain doubles down on food traceability. Vechain to develop drug tracing platform for pharma giant Bayer. One of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world is working with Vechain to develop new blockchain-based traceability platform. Amazing. And guys, in their white paper, they actually go through a lot of these use cases: food and beverage, anti-counterfeiting, digital vehicle passport. So you can really delve deeper into what these use cases are, what the problems are, and what their solutions are. So how do we categorize Vechain in the wider market? It's actually quite a difficult thing to do, and more projects that are coming out now are harder to categorize because they kind of sit in a category of their own. There are other companies doing similar things to Vechain. You look at Hedera that are looking to empower businesses as well, but Vechain really is in a class of its own. Sitting at number 6 here with a market cap of 4 billion, I think it's still ridiculously early on this project. You know, it's sitting at 6 cents. And again, I think there's so much more left in this project. You know, when you've been in the crypto space for a little bit of time and you hear people talking about things and you start hearing the same projects coming up over and over again, you start to take notice. Vechain is one of those projects. This won't be the first or the last time you hear about Vechain. And let's look at their social media, guys. Unsurprisingly, they have the most followers that we've actually covered on the channel, 187.3k followers. So you can imagine they are super active across this space. Their community is huge. And given the diversity of industries they work in and the amount of businesses that they're working with and how far they've come, you can learn so much from just following their Twitter and turning those bell notifications on. So we're sitting at around 6 cents here and we are rank 22. So this project has climbed the ladder in its own right. The price has doubled in the last 30 days and it just seems to be going from strength to strength. Incredibly bullish chart. So if we look at the chart here, Vechain has broken out of this channel and is looking to find the 2.618 Fibonacci level. This coin has obviously shown tremendous strength in the past few weeks and months. And honestly, I don't think there's a bad time to buy this project for the long term. That's not financial advice, that's just my opinion. But if I was looking for an entry price, then I would be looking at these levels here. So around the 0.055 levels. We've seen tremendous buying power here, and tremendous buying power always equals some form of selling power at some point. So don't be surprised to see that fall at some point, guys. The other thing that could happen is obviously we could keep going up, challenging this 2.618, closing above that line, which would obviously be incredible for Vechain. But in my opinion, we are going to see some drawback given the amount of purchase power we've had recently. Watch this space, not financial advice. So guys, Vechain, what a mammoth, what an incredible product, what an incredible project. These guys are taking on the world and they're achieving it. So it's relatively rare to find projects with actual products and actual real life use cases, let alone ones that are working globally in real time with some of the biggest enterprises in the world. Vechain is a bit of a unicorn in that regard. Not only that, they have amazing tokenomics, they have an amazing community and ecosystem, they have an amazing governance structure, and the sky is the limit for this project. I know the community here is huge, so if you're a VET from day, let me know, shout me in the comment section, and please do help get this video out there. If you like the content, if you think I've done a good job, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button. My goal is to keep producing videos like this on various projects, small caps, high caps, to just try and give people an idea of what they're investing in before they invest, and to shine a light on what the future is going to look like, because that's what these projects are. So yeah, help move the space forward, help move Vechain forward. Let's get this out there. Thanks so much for your time, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you on the next one.